Good afternoon, morning, evening. Hello, it's Lynn here from the Learn English Network, and welcome to Talk to the Hand. Somebody asked me if I could give the date on the sessions, but I'm a little reluctant to do that because it kind of dates them, and these sessions are standalone. So have a look at the date on the YouTube recording, because if you're here in the session, you kind of know what day it is. And we don't replay these sessions as live ever. So you either watch the replay or you watch it on YouTube, which gives you the recording date. I'll make sure I put the recording date on the YouTube video. Okay, so I don't want to age myself. This is my way of being immortal. Anyway, welcome to everybody. Thank you so much, Monique, Rima, Zom, Shiny, 111s, everybody. Now, if you're new here and you see people typing 111, it just means they can hear me. And it's always nice to know people can hear me. If you've been to enough sessions, you'll know why. Because if you type 222, it means you can't hear me. And if you type 2121, it means you're breaking up. You're breaking up. So today's topic, Eleanor's going to love it. And we can blame Rima. Rima came up with a question, and well, if you've been around the network for long enough, you will realize that your questions are what sparks my ideas for sessions. The more questions you ask me, the more likely we'll have interesting sessions. And I've got a question to start with, because those of you who were in the Kitely session earlier with me will know what today's topic is. So, but I'll start for those of you who don't know. I've got a question for you, and it's this question. What do you think of when you hear the word hippie? Okay. Now, I'm going to invite people into the call because we're going to do a bit of reading and a little bit of discussion. Obviously, seats are limited, and I do kind of need to know who you are from the forum. I need to have interacted with you on the forum to bring you in. So let me see who's asking. Marco, Rima, you asked first. I will invite you in. Now, I'm presuming that it comes in. I've never noticed this actually. So Rima, if you didn't ask first, I've no idea to tell how, but I'll take it from the webinars list. Okay. That's the only thing I can do. I'm trying to be fair. So Marco, I'm inviting you in. Okay, Eleanor's thinking of me. Zom's thinking of a hippopotamus. Okay, interesting. I hope you're not thinking of me as you're thinking of hippopotamus. Monique's thinking of the 60s. And Vickery's having a freak out. It's pretty odd. I never heard Stranger Talks without the sub. Okay, I think you mean I've never heard a stranger speak without subtitles. Yeah, I don't come with subtitles. I'm sorry, Vickery. This session can get pretty fast as well. So buckle your seatbelt. That's all I can say. This is live. I'm speaking now, sitting at my desk. It's not recorded. What you can do is don't panic, because this session will be streamed onto YouTube. So you can watch the replay, and you can always ask if you don't understand something. Don't forget to mark your question as a question. It's easier for me to find it. So I think Rima's joined me. Rima, can I hear you? Can you hear me?
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. Nice to hear you again.
Yes.
It's very fitting that you're the first person in the call. So I know you had an issue with this before, but what do you think of when you hear the word hippie? You've written, there's no clue to anything here. You've not written anything for my answer, so I'm going to ask you to answer it live. What do you think of when you hear the word hippie, Rima?
Hippie, I think immediately about hippie movement in
Yeah.
I don't know, 60s.
Yeah, the
From
hippie movement, and sometimes it's written with a Y, by the way. I tend to write it with an IE, but you can write it with a Y. The hippie movement in the 60s. Yeah. Okay, now I've had a couple of things here. Weed from Shiny. Weed. A view from Eleanor. Fikri says, person like a gypsy. Oh, be careful with that. That's cultural misappropriation, a topic for another session. If you can say it, you can join the session. Because the gypsy culture is very different to the hippie culture. They would not think of themselves as hippies. They'd be quite insulted, actually. Romany culture is very set and very ancient. And as Rima pointed out before, the hippie culture is more the 60s. Eleanor, did I just hear you?
Yes, I just said hi to check if my mic is working.
Yeah, your mic's working. Good, good, good. Don't forget, type MIC, then you don't make me jump.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
What was
I
that?
have been very impolite. I do apologize.
Totally, totally. But then that's very hippie, you know, no rules, man. No rules. It's all cool. Okay, so you wrote, you thought of me when I said the word hippie. Do you really think I'm a hippie?
I wouldn't think anything, but you have said it yourself many times. So
yeah,
I
with
have
the
an alibi.
proviso, I'm a bit of a hippie. I kind of like most cultures. There are parts of most cultures in the world that I admire. I'll always steal the best bits or the bits that fit in with my idea of myself, as most humans will, of course. Shiny's actually written freak as well. Now that's a viewpoint that was taken. We're going to discuss this in further, in more in depth, in a bit. Okay. So let's see what else. Reem can't hear me. Oh, I'm sorry, Reem. Monique's laughing at me. Monique's written pod. Pod. That's really weird. Pod. And Eleanor's also written Carmen. Yeah, Carmen was a gypsy, not a hippie. Way before hippie
Yes,
time.
that's what I meant, because you mentioned...
Do be careful
gypsy.
with one-word answers, especially in the
Yes,
street.
yes,
Sometimes
yes.
it's so disjointed. Okay, Monique, I'm going to invite you in next. You're probably chomping at the bit.
But, you know, I have found a very funny sketch by Anne Romanov in French, and this is Carmen Lacrise. This is a mother Carmen afraid of death. Very funny indeed.
Okay, never thought of Carmen as being funny, but good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
I
Shiny's
reposted on Facebook. Sorry.
Oh, it's okay. No, I was just going to say, Shiny's asking, pot like we. Don't forget to mark questions as questions, Shiny. Okay, let me show you. It shows up much better if it's a question. Okay, so pot, weed, lots of different words, terminology. I don't know all drug terminology. I'm very uncool like that, I'm afraid. But yeah, that's the kind of stuff. And Anne Romanoff from Zom. Would you like to clarify that a bit, Zom? Was that a famous hippie?
Sometimes he must have played hippie. Just a moment, I will send the link to this video. It's very funny. Subtitles.
Okay.
I do apologize.
Eleanor mentioned it.
Okay, I didn't catch that. Your listening skills are better than mine, Zom. Thank you.
Yes, because except she played Carmen. Carmen was a gypsy, and this is my train of thought.
Who's Zeb?
I'm a hippie too. Yeah.
Eleanor, who's
Zom,
Zeb?
sorry.
Don't worry, you'll catch up. I've been hunting Zebs. Zom's very worried now. Okay, so Monique, can you hear me? Can I hear you?
Yes, I can.
Excellent, and I can hear you too. Good. Okay, so good suggestions there. None of the real cultural stereotypes came up. It's quite funny. So let me enlighten you all as to the cultural stereotype of your typical hippie. Okay? So we're going to look at hippies first before we move on to the other side. Now, Reem, you've raised your hand. I'm a little worried because of your connection. Can you hear me, Reem? Because honestly, Reem, if you cannot hear me now, you won't be able to hear me in the call. So let's see what happens. Reem, if you can hear me, type 111. Okay. Zom, you've raised your hand. I will invite you in next. And bear with me a second. Help. Admin console. Where are you? Oh, there you are. Good. And Zom. Where are you, Zom? There you are. Okay. Okay, so there's one more space left. We'll see if Zom can get in as well. But this is what is described of as hippie style. Now, hippies and style didn't really go together when the whole idea came about. But, of course, we're talking about now, not then. Hippie style developed with the hippie movement. Okay, so what things here can you recognize? Does anybody give me some names of items of hippie style? Hi, Zom. Can you hear me? Can I hear you?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yay!
Hopefully you can hear me too.
I can hear you too, Zom. Excellent. Was John Lennon a hippie? Shiny. Yeah, he liked to think of himself as a hippie, but really, when you look at the culture itself, a bit of a sellout hippie. Sorry, John, and all that, but really, yes. So, Marco, take the mic. Rima.
Okay. First item here is that they were like very peaceful.
Can I stop you right there? I'll be right back. Talk among yourselves. Sorry.
Okay.
So keep going, Rima. What did the hippie for you?
Yes, but because I suppose that you were in testing while Lynn asked what we can see on this picture, and
okay.
Yes, and here is like I said, they were very peaceful. There is like 2 fingers raised, and this sign, like a necklace around this person's neck, is like a peace sign. There are vinyl, which was characteristic for this period of time. A lot of feathers and like flowers, because I know in that they were called, but I know it in my language that they called, if I literally translate, the children of flower, something like it, flower children. I don't know.
Yes, true.
Yeah, and this
Flower
is here. Yeah, and here is one dove, and a lot of hearts. Yes, here is how to say it, Converse. I don't know, like shoes, like sneakers, in the right corner, next to guitar. Yes, they love guitar music. Was aware against industrialization and love to enjoy in their life. Yes, to enjoy in drugs, and yes.
Rima, I'm going to pass the session over to you. You know more about it than I do. But yeah, there's lots of symbols here that symbolize hippies, and some of them are real symbols. For example, does anybody know what this symbol is here? It's not Volkswagen.
Crazy.
Sorry, I couldn't resist that one. That's actually the CND symbol. CND. It is peace, but this is what I think of as the peace symbol. Okay. It used to be known as the V for victory, like, Churchill and all that. Stick 2 fingers up. Now, remember, the palm has to be facing outwards. When you put 2 fingers up, make sure the palm is facing outwards towards the person that you are giving the V sign to. Because if you turn your hand round, it means something very, very rude. It's F off. Okay, so make sure your palm is outwards, and then you can make the sign. And it is now the peace sign, but it's also known as the V for victory sign. But as I say, very important, palm out, not 2 fingers with your palm facing inwards. No, 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 don't do that. Not in England anyway. Meaningless in America, but in England it really does mean F off. So this is the peace sign. This is actually the CND sign. It does stand for peace, but it's actually the Campaign for Nuclear Disarmament. So when you see somebody wearing that, they're actually against nuclear weapons and weapons of mass destruction and against war. It's an anti-war symbol, and the V is a peace symbol. Okay? Yes, exactly, Rima, against war. Okay? But I cannot stipulate more, or really, when you're ordering 2 beers in a pub, make sure you've got your palm out if you're going to raise 2 fingers, okay? Really, might save your life one day. And you can see he's got it around his neck, or you might find it on a T-shirt, on the back of the T-shirt, on a van. And this CND symbol, that's what it stands for. As far as I know, it's Creative Commons, so I am allowed to use it. Then I heard you, Mark. So I did have to go and answer the door because we had a packet arriving, and I've got even a note from hubby here. DPD packet will come between 1 o'clock and 2:30. So it's like, please don't let them go. Don't ignore them as I usually do. Yes, nicely. So then we've got the dove. I heard you mention that, Rima. Well done for calling it a dove as well. That's what I was talking about yesterday. Not a pigeon, a dove. And hearts. Again, the symbol of love, the heart. Yeah. Music as well. Feathers and flowers. Yeah. Normally in the hair. A bandana. Yeah. Long hair. Nobody mentioned the long hair. That to me is very, especially blokes, not so much the girls, but blokes with long hair tends to look like a hippie. Yeah. Sum it up as peace and love. That's nice, Monique. The John Lennon glasses. I mean, he basically made those glasses. There's a whole story. Look it up online. There's a whole story about his glasses online. And does anybody know what these are? When I first saw them, I thought, what on earth? Are they candles? Anybody know? What would you call them?
Flute? I don't know. What's that?
Monique, sorry, again?
A flute.
No, they're not a musical instrument.
Looks like that.
Yeah, I know. I thought candles actually, but yeah, you could think of them as a music, like panpipes. That's very hippie, isn't it? But no, they actually go round your wrist.
Bracelets.
Yeah, they're bracelets. They're friendship bracelets. Not belts, friendship bracelets. And that is very hippie. I can remember they come back into fashion in the UK at school. All of a sudden, every school child will be making friendship bracelets, and they'll swap them with all their friends, and they'll wear them until they're falling off their wrists. So you tie them to the wrist. They're called friendship bracelets. And I think that kind of weaving came from Native American culture. And there's a lot of the Native American culture got wound up into the hippie culture. Okay. Best thing of all, of course, the Volkswagen van. Yay. That makes me a hippie. Flares. Somebody mentioned flares. Flared trousers, or we just call them flares. Okay. Nobody wears flares anymore. Music, the guitar, the music symbols here, and the record. By the way, children, this is a record. It's made of vinyl. And it's very trendy again. Flip-flops. Yeah, the flip-flops here. And he's got Jesus sandals on. Yes, we really do call them that. And I heard you say, Marco, sneakers, trainers. Not so much hippie, but anything that's not business-like. You won't find a shirt and a tie. Caftans. Yeah, all sorts of fashion statements that scream hippie, droopy mustache, difficult for the girls. But you could transfer this onto a female and it would be fine. I've got a top very similar to this one. Not yellow, but I have got a top like this, just a pullover top, like a tunic. I don't have flares, I'll admit, but I do have what they call comfort fit jeans. I'm that age, okay?
It's just because she's old, guys.
Okay. And not vinyl, vinyl. It's a weird spelling, I'm afraid. It's with a Y. Vinyl records. Okay. And Monique, yeah, there we have it. Now, we wouldn't say marijuana leaves. Anybody know what this symbol is for? It's actually the plant
Do you have any
rather
other
than the
name?
drug. Well, the plant
Or,
can.
because the
Yeah,
plant is marijuana.
Eleanor's really with it. Look at this. That's probably the plural, actually. Cannabis. Yeah, cannabis. Okay, you'll often see that quite legally. If you go into Body Shop, if you don't know, it is a big chain of sort of, what would you call them? Not just beauty products, but grooming products. So bath salts and you'll find this symbol on a lot of their products because it contains hemp. The plant itself is pretty innocuous. It's a very useful plant. The drug that comes out of it is purely down to human beings being the way we are. And hippies had a big role to play in cannabis and marijuana, which is the drug. But the cannabis plant, the hemp plant, as I say, lots of different words. Pot, Shiny mentioned earlier. Now, for some reason, there's a palm tree here. Not sure where that idea came from. Maybe the relaxed, I'd say that's more Rastafarian, to be honest, but maybe the relaxed lifestyle, lying on a beach by the van, playing the guitar with your friendship bracelet and your pot. Okay, so I would like to have some volunteer readers. Okay. Just type Mike if you would like to do some reading. What does the feather stand for? Putting feathers in your hair. Again, this Native American tie-in with the hippie culture. Okay. Sleeping under the stars, being free, being nomadic, and putting feathers and flowers in your hair. Okay. Shiny, you've asked for the mic, but you're not actually in the room. So I'm sorry, I have to disappoint you there.
If you want to make room.
No, it's fine. It's fine because Shiny can't actually speak today. I know you want to, Shiny, but she was coughing so much earlier, so best maybe not to. Eleanor, you're first. So let's give. Oh, it's good actually because you get the etymology bit. You'll like that. Okay, hang on a second.
Okay.
I'll give you up to the Oxford English Dictionary definition. Okay, and
Shall I begin?
yeah, I'm just going to put the post up as well here so that people, if you can't read it in
Yeah, the
small.
font is rather
Okay.
small. Mhm.
Yeah, okay, that might be better. Okay.
Oh, yes, it's perfect. Thank you. The terms hipster and hippie share the word hip, completely different from each other. The term hip was coined during the Jazz Age to describe aficionados of growing scene. However, some claim that the term was originated from hop, a slang word used for opium. Hip-hop, who knows? The Oxford English Dictionary defines a hippie as a person of unconventional appearance, typically having long hair and wearing beads, associated with the subculture involving a rejection of conventional values and the taking of hallucinogenic drugs.
Very good. Yeah, hallucinogenic, not genic, hallucinogenic. Okay, so
Hallucinogenic. Oh, thank you.
and when we're
Okay.
talking about drugs here, of course, we're not talking about pharmaceuticals, legal pharmaceuticals, or ethical drugs, as they're often called. We're talking about illegal substances. Oops, naughty. Okay, but it happens. Come on, it happens. I just hope YouTube doesn't ban me for this one.
Yeah, a bad mushroom. That's it.
Yeah, and mushrooms. Yeah, they did a lot of mushrooms too. Okay, so nicely read. Any questions? Mick in spirit, shiny. Yeah, I know. Rayma, you asked, could we just say vinyl? Yes. In fact, vinyl is now the term. People don't tend to say records anymore. They just say vinyl. Have you got any vinyl? Do you want to buy some vinyl? It's very popular now. Very popular. And we'll come to why in a bit. So any questions?
Did I have
No?
a question?
Yes,
Yeah.
Monique.
With that word, it's aficionados or is aficionados?
Aficionados. Yeah.
Aficionados. Okay.
Aficionados. People who subscribe to something. Yeah. You've got the aficionados of this particular scenes. People who become fans, I guess. It's almost like being a fan. Yeah. An aficionado, but it's not so much to do with fame as sort of believing something and really buying into something, okay? And enthusiastic. You're all English aficionados, I hope.
Or fan of something.
Yeah, of something. Not fan tends to have this connotation of being a fan of someone, but an aficionado is more a fan of something, okay? Aficionados is like a Spanish word. Hello, Edgar. Yes. Yeah. If we looked at the etymology of aficionado, we probably would find something sort of Spanish or Latin about it. Yeah, that from Latin, affectio, to Spanish, aficionar, and then aficionado, which means amateur in Spanish. So don't confuse it with the English meaning. Okay. And it's become in English, it actually means to have great affection for something and to be a fan of it. Okay?
Same in Spanish. But
Yeah.
the way is the same.
Oh, okay. It
Same
says,
meaning?
I'm going by what it says on Wiki, because as you know, I don't speak Spanish, but it actually can mean that, can it? If you're an aficionado or something.
I can tell.
Yeah, I know. I should have asked you, didn't I? So I do that all the time, Monique. Go to Wiki and I've got a native speaker here. Oh, just stop me. Okay, so in the hip bit, I mean, of course, as English learners, when you hear the word hip, you probably think body part. Yeah, at the top of your leg, you've got two hips, right hip, left hip. First thing to go is you start getting old, by the way, hip replacement and all that. But of course, English has many more meanings for different words. It can also mean if you're hip, it can mean you're very modern and with it. And that's where it came into the jazz age. Now, I didn't know that the hip was part of the jazz age, okay, to be hip. It's something I know the meaning of, but I didn't know it came from like the 1940s, suddenly popped up into the culture. Don't know where it really came from. But it's nothing to do with your hips, as in part of your body, okay? Although if you can move your hips, that's quite hip. Okay, so next person to read. Let's see. Monique, you were the next.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I am.
Excellent. Okay. Oh, bear with me a second. I've always got that problem of cut and paste, but we'll try and make it sensible. A bit longer. I know you're up for it. Okay, there you go.
Okay. Their appearance made them instantly recognizable, with kaftans, bright psychedelic colors, bell-bottom jeans. The V sign became a sign for peace in order to protest the Vietnam War. Hippies created their own subculture. In fact, the hippie movement was considered a kind of revolution and subversive. They believed in freedom, is squid money, promoted vegetarianism, and practiced holistic medicine. They were also strongly linked to the sexual revolution and often grouped together in communes or cooperatives, which became notorious for the use of drugs as a means to experience different states of consciousness and searching for the meaning of life. And their preferred music was psychedelic rock music. It was originally a youth movement that rose in the United States during the Vietnam War, peaking in the 70s.
Very good. Well done. So this term subculture, yeah, to create a subculture. We often talk about culture, and we've been talking about Australian culture in Kitely, but as we've discussed quite often, there's more than one kind of culture. There's many, many different cultures in any country, in any, even in organizations, little subcultures. Okay, couple of words for you first, Monique. So, protest, to protest, not protest, protest. Try it.
Protest?
Yeah. That's
I
it,
think
to
that the
protest.
American, it's a bit different because I've tried this word before and
Oh.
someone told me the other way around. Let me
Oh,
check.
did they?
Yes, really?
Let's have a listen to, let's see if we can listen to,
Maybe I'm wrong, of course.
of course, maybe I am.
Protest. Protest.
I've
Yeah,
got
because
it.
I've tried this
Protest.
before, you know.
I'm
Protest
trying to
and
find
protest,
somebody.
and I was like, I was confused about the stress of that word, and someone told me protest and protesters
Protest.
and protesters, whatever.
Protest
Yeah.
sounds
I tried.
weird. That sounds so weird. Hang on, I'm going to go to How'd You Say. Let's see what How'd You Say says.
Protest. Protest. Protest.
Protest.
You don't believe me, believe How'd You Say.
Protest.
I would always say protest, honestly, not protest. I've never, because it's Protestant. You've got Protestant, which is the religion, Protestantism, and then you've got to distinguish from that. So we say protest. I've never heard protest, but you know, if everybody around you is saying protest, stick with it. What the heck? Okay, the next one, eschewed, to eschew something.
I don't know that word.
Yeah, it means
What's that?
reject. They rejected money.
Okay.
And that's what really got them into trouble. People think it was the sexual revolution and the drugs. It wasn't. It was their rejection of money. And in that way, I kind of am a bit of a hippie in that I'm not motivated much by money. Hence, I'm here. Yeah, I've got nothing against it, though. I'm not a hippie in that they would eschew money. And if somebody were to say to me, here, have some money, I'd go, oh, thank you very much. So I don't eschew it, but it's not the be-all and end-all to me. But they eschewed it. They rejected it. And then the last one, it's a cooperative. Cooperatives.
Cooperatives.
Yeah, so to cooperate, yeah, and then you've got this word cooperative, which is the idea of doing things together cooperatively. Okay, I like cooperatives. I'm not so keen on communes, to be honest. I don't think I could go and live in a commune, but cooperative, yeah, why not? If anybody wants to set one up, I'm in. And you do need it sometimes. So what are communes? Well, again, they've got a bad reputation, generally because of the drugs and sex. Okay, so communes are basically where people live together communally. Yeah, you've got a community, a commune, and yes, there's this idea that there's some kind of control mechanism in a commune, but that would be totally against the idea of a commune. But they have got a bad reputation. Coming from this era, really, okay. I can tell you one of the biggest communes in Europe is in Denmark somewhere. It's called Christiania. But basically, if you live together with people and you share everything in a group, you kind of, a family is a kind of commune, to be honest. It just means to live communally. But I think you might be confused because of the French definition of it. But that's not what it means here, okay?
Okay, got it.
So, and the notoriety came from communes, from the drugs and the free sex. But, you know, honestly, you can still meet repressed hippies who don't take drugs and who, don't live in communes. So it's more than that. It's more than that. Okay. Any questions?
What are
Yes.
kaftans?
Oh, kaftans. Oh, you need to know a bit of your music for the kaftan. There's a song about kaftans.
Oh,
I'm not joking. Oh, I'm just trying to remember what it was called. Cool in the Kaftan. Cool in the Kaftan. I'll give you the link.
right.
I can't share it, but okay, I can't share it, and I can't share the music either. I'll get banned. But let me put it into here, and you can. It's basically just very loose, long, tunicky, dressy thing that men and women can wear. So it's a unisex.
Oh, a nightgown.
Clothing. Like a nightgown, like a nightie, yes. But women and men can wear it. And there's this song, Cool in a Kaftan.
All right.
They're really comfy. I've got one, okay?
Okay, all right. I'm not going to say anything then, but I will not think
Yeah, but
of this.
my kaftan comes from Nigeria, okay, and it looks like a kaftan. But they're very popular. If you go to the beach, you'll find lots of people, because you can just throw it over your head and you're, fully dressed without any. Here you go, kaftans in there. Okay,
Without any what?
you can buy it in Debenhams. It's mainstream, okay?
Okay.
Good. Trust me.
Oh no.
Very useful. Exactly, Monique. Very useful. Very, very useful. Okay, now I haven't heard back from Reem. So, Hugh, you've asked to join. So I will add you. Now I'm going to send you a message first, okay? Because there are slight issues with coming into a webinar jam. Okay, things that you have to do first. Okay, so I'm just trying to find the actual text. Okay, no, that was the same one. Okay, so I'm just going to send you this, Hugh, and then if you agree, send me a private message in reply, okay? Okay, so next person to read then. Let's see. Marco, are you okay to read, Rima?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sure. Oh,
Yes, sir.
okay.
But Lynn, about holistic medicine, is it like spiritual way of healing someone?
Yes, but not just that. It can also mean herbal medicine. It's looking at the body as a whole. So from yoga to even the sort of spiritual side of it, drums, and of course the herbal medicines that you can use. But it was treating the whole person, including
Alternative medicine. Alternative.
Yeah. Alternative, exactly.
Alternative.
Yeah,
Okay.
alternative medicine and everything brought
Totally
in.
opposite from pharmacy.
That's it, exactly. Okay, so don't forget, if you want to read, you'll need to type up MIC.
Okay, I have to type.
Yeah. It's hard work, I know. Okay, so here's a bit of text for you, Rima. Here you go.
Oh, okay. Hippies had a huge effect on the culture at that time, influencing popular music, television, film, literature, and the arts. Hippies would roam from place to place and went on to search the meaning of life. They believed in being free from societal restriction. Hippies commonly took up communal or arrangements adopted. Signers, is it singers maybe?
Sorry, that should be singers. Let me just change that. Yeah, signers. See, I make mistakes too. There you go.
Singers such as Bob Dylan, the Beatles, Grateful Dead, and the Rolling Stones were often associated with during those times.
Yeah, so Bob Dylan was considered a bit of a hippie. The Beatles, somebody already mentioned John Lennon, but the Beatles, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, great big psychedelic piece of mess of music, generally written under the influence, I would suggest, but I wouldn't allegedly. The Rolling Stones as well, even though the Rolling Stones wouldn't, I don't think, consider themselves hippie, their music became part of it and part of the movement as well. Monique, you've written a bit of a critic.
Because you told Marco about just to type mic.
Oh, right.
Nicely feedback. You can type.
That's a nice way of saying it. Yeah, just a reminder, a gentle reminder.
With a bit of sarcasm, That's a good example.
And yes, I think Marco's the critic. He corrected me. Signers? What's that? Okay, so that's a little brief introduction. I mean, of course, it's more complex than that. The hippie culture was praised, vilified. I mean, hippies got their heads kicked in. They were hated at the time because they were very pro-peace and they were very anti-Vietnam. And there are still hippie communes around the world. As I say, Christiana is the one I know of in, I think, in Denmark. But if you go to America, especially if you go to out-of-the-way places, you will still find communes, etc. But it did fall into disrepute. Okay. And does anybody know the name Charles Manson? Okay, I don't like saying his name because he actually posed as a hippie. He can't have been a hippie because of what he did, but he posed as a hippie. He latched on to the lifestyle. This is where the idea of these communes being dangerous places comes from. And he killed several people. He got his followers, and that's what, you know, it's a sect, really. He got his followers to kill several people. And because of his, you know, lifestyle, they kind of latched it on to being a hippie. And some people blamed it. So the term actually fell out of fashion in the 1970s. It almost killed the movement in the 1970s. And a lot of rubbish has been written about hippies as well, all the peace and love, and that's the ideal, okay? But the reality was also, it got very caught up. Woodstock, if you want to read some shocking stuff, read about Woodstock. It got hijacked. The whole movement got hijacked with people with other ulterior motives, okay? Which is always the danger of any movement, that people will hijack it for their own ends, okay? Any questions before we move on to the one that confused Marco? Rima. Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, don't look too much into it. He's a very disturbing person. That's why I don't even want to say his name out loud, really. I always think people like that should fade into obscurity as failed humans. That's my own idea there. Lots of people, yes. Shiny wants to speak. Just must be so frustrating, Shiny. Hugh, I've still not heard from you. So I will need to hear from you to accept the terms and conditions kind of thing before you join us. And there are any terms and conditions as to what you're using as a computer and what your connection is like. Okay. But anyway, I'll leave it with you. I won't add you to the room until I hear back from you though. Okay. So my next question, anybody guess what the next question is going to be? Rima? I started off the session with the first question.
Oh, okay. What is the difference between hippie and a hipster.
Yeah, close, very close. Oh, by the way, just to remind myself, I meant to give you your feedback. I got confused and distracted. I get lots of little messages popping up. So, societal, Rima, societal. We've got society, and then societal is anything to do with society. Okay, try it. Societal.
Societal.
Yeah, and then communal.
Communal.
And communal.
Communal.
That's it. Not to be confused with communist, although there was a lot of communal idealism behind communism. Okay, but communal and hippies, you know, I don't think the Russians, even the most avid communists, actually liked hippies very much. As I say, poor hippies for a peace movement. They did get a lot of bruises, I'm afraid. Okay, so my next question wasn't strictly what's the difference. It's more, what do you think of when you hear the word hipster? And that's, I think, where you got confused last week, Rima. So what do you think of, Rima, when you think of the word hipster?
I was thinking that I thought that it is just maybe different shape of or different pronunciation of hippie, but I think that you explained maybe a little bit about that.
A little bit. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a hipster, okay? I might be a bit of a hippie. In some respects, I might be a bit of a hipster, but there are aspects of the hipster culture I'm just like, oh, get a life. Anyway, we'll look into that, the whys and wherefores of that. Apologies if you're a hipster, by the way. I do. Nothing wrong. You know, live your life the way you wish to, but get a life. Okay, so... So again, if you would like to type up Mike, if you'd like to read. Does anybody got anything? Zom, you're giggling away there. Does anything come to mind when you hear the word hipster? Have you got an idea of what it might be? Come on, you're in.
Oh, to me, they are the kind of people I meet in Paris sometimes. And
yeah, I knew it. Chinese written in their 20s or 30s. Not far wrong, but you can get aging hippies and you can get aging hipsters too. So, Eleanor, take the mic.
They don't like to have old people around them anyway.
Oh, what a shame. I'm out then. Eleanor, take the mic.
In Paris, I can imagine, but I can't imagine, but I've just recalled the video we had watched with you a long time ago. It was about two friends, and one was red trousers, wasn't it?
That's it.
It turned out in the end that the second one was
I'll see if I can find the link so I can share it on the forum. People will know.
Yeah, but I don't remember the exact title. I have it in my notes. Of course, everything is recorded.
I'm so scared of
it
your
was
notes
very funny.
anymore.
Yeah. It was very funny.
Thank you for the reminder. I'll try and see if I can find the link. I might have some notes somewhere, but if I can't, I'll send you a message and ask you to look through yours. Red trouser hipster clip. I bet you I find that. I bet you I find it. If it's still on YouTube. Of course, these things do get taken down. Okay, excellent. Monique, you're lolling there. What does hipster mean to you? Do you have any hipsters in your country?
Sure, actually it's trendy, but I would say that I was reading about this subculture, and it implies a lot of things, and not only about the way they look like. So I would say that some people just acquired the look.
Okay.
But no
without
more
the
than
lifestyle.
that,
That's a bit like the hippie movement.
And actually, I see that just pretty. I don't know. I like it. I mean, they look. I mean, if I'm talking especially, or when it comes to men, some of them look great. But
hey.
yeah, I have to say,
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. It is a masculine style, actually. It's very difficult for women to aspire to look like a hipster because we haven't got the facial hair. If we're lucky, we haven't got the facial hair. If we got the facial hair, oh, that'd be awful. Anyway, let's have a little look. Okay, let's have a look at the hipster style. Okay. There. Is that the kind of thing you were thinking of, Monique?
I would pick some of them, not all of them. You know, I don't like, for example, I don't like long beards, but
it's in fashion.
Like a stubble beard, it would be great.
Oh, you are old. That's past.
Sorry? No, it's still here.
The past.
No,
it's the story of the past.
Okay, but it's still.
That's George Michael.
Exactly. That's George.
Designer stubble. No, that's not hipster. I'm sorry. If you've got people in your country going around with designer stubble and saying they're hipsters, forget it. Just stop using the blade and you can then start being a hipster. It really is full on beards. I'm sorry, Monique. Zom's right. Monique's
yeah, no, I'm just thinking about it. I don't like long beards.
Well, no, that's what I was saying.
Maybe just a less prominent beard would be better, you know. So I mean, as you can see in the picture, you have different styles,
that one maybe.
Even among hipsters, you know. So
oh yeah, absolutely. Well, we'll come into why that is in a moment, but generally. Okay, let's have a look at the vocabulary to start with in the same way we did. So what kind of things do you see here that you recognise? Anything you can't recognise? Hats. I mean, I like a hat, I'll be honest. And old-fashioned, I mean, do you know what this kind of hat is? Do you know what we call it?
It's a bowler or something like
that? Yeah, it's a bowler hat.
Okay.
Yeah, the sort of thing that you might have seen on Pathé News amongst bankers in the sort of 50s, 30s, 50s, 20s maybe. The bowler hat. Nobody wears them except for hipsters now. They got a bad reputation during the time of the Clockwork Orange. Okay, the bowler hat. It became quite sinister to wear a bowler hat. But now it's kind of very hip. Hip as in on. And then you've got the trilby as well. So many hats, the trilby.
Can you write it down, please?
The trilby. Okay.
Okay.
Those nice old-fashioned hats. To me, the bowler hat's very British and the trilby's very American. But they're very restrained kind of hats, but old-fashioned. Also boaters you might find as well. I haven't got a picture of a boater, but just look it up, okay? You've got the hairstyles, okay? Lots of gel. And the beards. And the thick glasses. Yeah, the thick glasses. Yeah. The old, what I call NHS-style glasses, okay? The sort of glasses you'd die if you had to wear at school. And now they're really trendy. And getting old glasses frames and having your prescription and your new modern plastics put into them is very trendy too. Sunglasses too. Yeah, not the tie bow, the bow tie. The bow tie. Can blame Doctor Who for that one. Elaborated shaggy then. I'm not sure what you mean there, Zom.
Just Monique saying shaggy hair. I kind of disagree with that. It's
oh no, not shaggy. It's very styled. Shaggy, hippie. Doesn't care. Doesn't even own a comb. Shaggy,
it's totally
hippie.
the opposite.
Yeah, styled. Made to look as if it's shaggy, but they spend hours to achieve that look. Okay, hours and lots of product. Okay. Okay, so, and the clothing. I mean, the clothing. Anything goes as long as it's not got a well-known label. Okay? Labels don't go. Although, of course, because it's a style and it's fashionable, all the fashion houses are jumping onto this look. But that's against the idea of being a hipster. The idea of being a hipster is you go and find these things in secondhand shops. You don't pay big money for them. Checkered trousers, not a good look, guys. No flares. Yeah, have you noticed? Bell-bottom trousers, no flares. No, 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 no. Shorts, not a good look, guys. And sandals as well. And socks with sandals, really not a good look. Anything else we got? Yeah, not skinny pants, skinny pants. Skinny, yeah, skinny jeans. I don't wear them, by the way. I ain't got the body for it. But skinny jeans, very popular in the hipster look. That's what the clip was almost all about that Eleanor was discussing earlier. Yeah. Then we've got old-fashioned. The pipe. Yeah. Suddenly men are smoking pipes and things that are old-fashioned. Retro. Have you heard of the word retro? You know what retro means, yeah? So retro is really...
We have the same.
Yeah, excellent. Comes from, and you can often say retrospective. It just means to look back in time, a retrospective on something, a retrospective on film, looking back over film in time. Okay. And so retro is now, it's trendy, it's fashionable. Okay. So here's that old fashioned camera rejecting the digital. And going back to the old-fashioned look, which means manufacturers are manufacturing modern cameras to look like old cameras. Bags, man bags. Rima, if you want to be a hipster, you've got to get yourself a man bag, okay?
No, I'm quit at the beginning. I don't like it.
Okay. You didn't like the beard, did you?
No, nothing.
Now, you've written, is it a diary? What?
Above the bicycle, it's a book.
Yes, yeah. Keeping diaries. Yes, absolutely. Online journals as well. Music. What kind of music do you think retro hipsters listen to? Any idea?
Maybe 80s.
Indie rock. Alternative
Yay,
rock.
well done.
Yeah.
That's it, Monique. Yeah, she's spot on. Independent. Now remember, indie music isn't necessarily rock. It's independent labels. Okay. Self-published music that doesn't belong to, in that way, they kind of do tie in a little bit with the hippie movement. Anti-commercial, anti-big company, more into the smaller, more gentle things in life, things that are more bespoke. But that can also mean more expensive. But they like to listen to independent labels rather than the big bands and the big total rejection of the pop charts, by the way. Pop charts are meaningless nowadays. I used to listen to the pop charts. I don't bother anymore. It's all Ed Sheeran. Every single top 10, I think, belongs to Ed Sheeran at the moment. Music is dead. Well, that kind of music is anyway. Okay. Now, I'm not sure what the poor defenseless little animal here is doing. I don't know if hipsters actually like going out into the woods and
I think it's the opposite. They are anti-hunting.
Yeah, I was going to say. So I'm not quite sure what that's doing there. But anyway, the boots, yeah, old boots, old style boots, very hipster. But here's where they fall down. Oh, the bicycle, yeah. Basically going away from cars and going on to public transport is very hipster, and cycling's very hipster. To get to work, you'll often find them with the hat and the pipe, cycling to work. But they've not rejected technology, which is the hippies did.
Actually, it's mainstream, all of that, so it's not hipster, because even the presenters on TV are having this look more and more. I'm sorry, guys. It's getting mainstream, wait for the next thing.
It's like the hippie movement. You know, people dressed up as hippies and listened to hippie music and then went to their job at the local bank. You know, that's doesn't mean you're actually part of the movement. But yes, whenever anything becomes popular, and the reason hipster, which has been around for a long time, but the reason it's become popular is this little beastie here, the internet. Because hipsters haven't rejected modern technology. Okay. They might not buy an Apple, but they will be online. Whereas a hippie would be like, oh no, the microwaves are frying my brain. And there's something else hipsters have not rejected and cannot afford to reject, and that is filthy lucre. Money, yeah. It's not cheap being a hipster. It really isn't cheap being a hipster. Okay, Monique, you type Mike.
Yeah, no, actually, I was wondering how many hipsters, I mean, real hipsters, do we have? Because I would say that they really, I mean, some of them just take some part of this culture. I mean, it's combine everything,
but don't we all?
time, so they are not real hipster. They look like them, but again, it's not like if I think about people that I know and they look like them. I would say that they don't, I don't know, subscribe to the whole idea of this subculture.
They like the style, but not necessarily the lifestyle. We've got a word for people like that, wannabes. Yeah. He or she is a wannabe, as in wants to be that, but can't actually do it, or can't change their lifestyle in order to do it. We've got people in the UK who wouldn't actually call themselves hipsters, who are more hipster than people who call themselves hipsters. And the reason that they are more hipster than people who call themselves hipsters is they don't call themselves hipsters, because if you really want to be a hipster, you don't put a name on yourself. It's that a bit much?
That's getting complicated.
I'll have to listen to that on the recording and just make sure I actually make sense.
Stop! I don't know what you have just had a piece cake, right?
No, never done it. Never done it. Off to Amsterdam sometime this year. Maybe I'll try it then.
Real hipster is no-name hipster.
Yeah, basically, the whole point of the movement is not to have labels applied to yourself, to live your life in that way. Again, they kind of tie in with the hippie culture, that freedom to live your life the way you want to without having a label applied. But of course, we like boxes. We like to pigeonhole people. You're a hippie, you're a hipster, you're a communist, you're a liberal, you're a fascist, we just pop people into boxes. Nobody can actually fit into one of these boxes very comfortably, because we're too complex for that. But this is just to give you a general outline, a general guide. So let me just see, what are we doing? How are we doing for time, guys?
Until what time it's supposed to last?
That's why I've got to just check. Yeah, I think
very well. Very well. They're doing very well. You're doing great.
I'm not. I'm doing terribly as ever. So we are going to have to stop there, but we're not in a hurry, so we can continue this next week. Okay. And what we'll do next week, we will read about what is involved being a hipster, and then we'll look at some of the similarities and differences. But I hope you enjoyed the session. I can't believe how quickly that went. We just seem to just the time anyway today.
So fast.
I can't believe it. I mean, it's happened before, but today was like zoom. Maybe because I disappeared to go and pick up a packet in the middle or something. I just feel like I've not covered everything at all. But anyway, it's a big topic, so it'll be good. Next week we'll look at the hipsters, and I'd like you to think of some little bit of homework for you. Find some images online that, to you, typical hipster. Maybe go out with your camera, see if you can catch one.
No way.
like Pokemon.
Okay.
Do it very, very discreetly, though. Or if you've got a hipster friend, see if they're willing to pose for you, and you can do some screen sharing.
Yeah, like, okay, let me take you a picture.
They are not there to exhibit you. You can't exhibit hipsters.
Okay, but next week we'll look at the third picture, which is a mixture of them both, actually, hipsters and hippies, and male and female as well. Maybe we could do a build your own hippie competition.
Build your own hippie.
But you have to change platform to do it in Kitely.
Yeah, well, actually, why not? Now, tomorrow in Kitely, let me just do this. Zom and I have been plotting, and it's going to be St. Patrick's Day on Friday. Unfortunately, I am going out on Friday night. Otherwise, I'd say, why don't we have a St. Paddy's Day party? But I'm actually going for a one in real life. So Yeah, well, the Guinness is tastier. But tomorrow we'll be in the pub as usual, but with a St. Paddy's Day theme. And I'm going to see if I can put on a bit of music, get some music together as well that will have that theme.
Oh, good.
As well. Well, I'll see. I've got to see if I can get it to play.
Okay.
If I've got enough music, because we're actually full up at the moment on Radionomy. We used all our files up. But I'll see if I can make room for a bit of Pogues. And, oh, by the way, Rima, did enjoy that video very much. And it's only because I know what you told me that I realised, oh, yeah, that's a funny accent. But I would have put it down as a funny Irish accent without you having told me where they come from. But very good indeed.
They're very good. Okay. Well,
yeah,
I mean,
love it.
Very popular here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know
I
that.
think they'd be popular anywhere because they're pretty good. Yeah, I know. Zon was mentioning them as well, which is when we started plotting about tomorrow. So tomorrow in Kitely, St. Patrick's Day, wear something green.
Okay.
We will see you there.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for coming and thanks for reading,
Thanks.
everybody. Take care. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye, Monique.
Bye.
Bye, Eleanor. Bye, Shiny. Good night. Go get some sleep. Get better. Okay, now if you didn't get into the call, make yourself known on the forum. Ask any questions in the technology bit of the forum. And don't be shy, because, you know, we would love to have you come and read and speak with us, but we need to get to know you, and we need to know you're on a computer with a good bandwidth. Otherwise you won't get in, I'm afraid. It won't work, and that's frustrating. But if you want to come and listen and interact at any point, that's really easy. You don't need any apps. You don't need any downloads. You just need to register and come at the right time. Okay? So if you're watching this as a broadcast or a replay or a YouTube video, whatever, don't be shy. Come and join us. Okay? Take care. Bye. Bye, Hugh. Take care.